Hey, good morning. Bobby Dagger here. If you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. To all my bad boys and bad girls out there, taking a little change in what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to ask you a really basic question. If you are on a desert island, what what recording artist would you want to have all their music on that desert island? It's the only thing you could listen to. That's it, just that. What would it be? I'm going to tell you mine at the end because there's so many different people and so many different bands, especially us baby boomers. We were living in the vinyl years. I still miss the vinyl. You know, the cassette tapes are cool. They were okay because you can do those mixtape. Remember making mixed tapes and everybody would change and trade and back and forth the tapes, and you could take them in the car with you because you couldn't have an album in your car. And then the CDs came along. They seemed pretty good and they were awesome. Not the same, but they still have the quality. You can take them in the car. You can have them. I still have a lot of CDs, although I do miss the vinyl. I'm glad vinyl's back. And now we're just part of this digital age where you don't even you need nothing physical. You just have your phone, you have your computer, you have whatever you have, and you get whatever music you want. You're not buying an album per se. You can only buy, if you want to just buy one song, you can get one song. But that misses the point of having an album. For us, buying an album was an experience. It was a religious thing. I was young, I was a teenager. You couldn't wait to go and buy the album because you'd go and you'd buy whatever album it was or several, and you'd take it home and you'd unwrap it. And usually did it with friends, and you'd unwrap it and you'd be looking at the liner notes if there was, back and forth. And it was a double album. It was great because it opened up and then you had all the things in the center and it came with pictures. It was a religious experience. You'd put it on the record, you'd put the needle down and you played through whatever speakers you had. It was such a fun time. I really do miss that time. Now this disposable, just whatever music you want. You can have one song of this, one song of that. It's great. I still love it, but you miss the album. Because when they put those albums together back in the day, they thought about the sequence from the first song to the first side to the second, first song on the second side to the end. They wanted to tell a story most of the time through the music, through the time when it came. So you had your A side and your B side. I remember the first single I ever bought was Let's Spend the Night Together by the Stones. The A side was Ruby Tuesday. Not my favorite song, great song, but I loved Let's Spend the Night Together. For some reason, I loved that song. Anyways, that was my first single. Anyways, my desert island artist would be the Rolling Stones. There's such a huge collection of what they have, and they cover so many variations of rock and roll, blues, country, whatever. And you have the three periods. I always wanted to write a book on the three periods, the three big periods. You have the Brian Jones era, the beginning, which was great. Also, then when Mick Taylor came in, I just loved that period. The songwriting was great. It was simpler. It was really melodic. You basically had two rhythm guitar players creating leads that were just insane. It was just some of the best music ever, simplified down to the core of, for me, what music was. Exile on Main Street, one of my favorite records of all times, without a doubt. And if it was my album pick of one album, it would probably be Exile on Main Street. Drop in the comments what your album or artist would be. I'd love to know that. Leave in the comments what you think. That would be incredible. My all-time favorite, Rolling Stones, without a doubt. Like I said, you have the three periods. You have the Brian Jones period. You have the Mick Taylor period. And then you've got the Ronnie Wood live sections, because for some reason he just clicked much better with them on stage than Mick Taylor did, or even Brian. Even though Brian, I tell you, when I listened to some of the stuff he did, he added a whole color to them that they didn't have after the fact. They went back to being just like a really great rock and roll band. One of the best bar bands ever. I remember I saw them on St. Mark's Place. They were doing, I forget which song they were doing a video. It was in this tiny hole-in-the-wall bar, and they did it. I was in there for that. It was a great session. Anyways, I'd love to hear in the comments what your band is, what your album would be. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I hope you've watched it to this point. If you did, you're my kind of person. Bobby Dagger here. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay informed. Bad boys, bad girls, I love you.